It was meant to be made into a movie. When Sushmita said yes to the series, I was very happy because I can't imagine anybody else. We're grateful that she recovered. Like literally in 2 weeks, I think she was sort of on some fashion show.
Hi, you're watching HD's OTT Play. I'm Nirali in conversation with the critically acclaimed filmmaker who's coming with the Arya's Antim Vaar on 9th of Feb, Mr. Madhvani. A warm welcome to HD's OTT Play. It's a pleasure to have you for
Thank
a conversation, especially for a show that has been doing phenomenally well since the very beginning, since the very first season. Tell me, how is this journey been from you, from Arya 2, 3 and now the Antim Vaar, which is coming on the 9th of Feb?
In our own little way as Madhvani Films, with my co-producer Amita and myself, Arya has allowed us to put ourselves in the map in a small way, but we're still there on the map.
Yeah.
That is always a big deal to get 3 seasons, also to go for the Emmy nominations in season 1. And all of that has been, and also to get the critical and commercial love.
Of course, the both.
Both. That's very important.
That's
both
very important.
very
Yeah, of
important.
course.
I will not hide behind, oh, but the audience loves it. No, that's what matters. No, I want critical love and I want commercial. I want all kinds of, sort of appreciation from everybody.
There should be compliments pouring in from everywhere.
Everybody, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that we pride ourselves in on Arya is that it is a family show, and it is obviously about a woman, but it's not just a woman-centric show.
Sure, yeah.
It is a show for the youth, it's for the Dadaji, Dadiji, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that the fact that we were able to make a show that reached out to people in their living rooms, because I keep saying televisions are not in bedrooms, televisions are in living rooms.
Living rooms, true.
And so I want to make stuff which people can see as a family. So that has been the great, sort of that we have been allowed to do that, even though there are some things in Arya that you would perhaps think that families may not accept. But because it is eventually about a family, it is about a mother, it is about children. So I think that's why people are reacting to it in the way that they do.
Yeah. But back when, taking you back to the time Arya released, the kind of response, of course, was overwhelming. But was it something that you anticipated while you were, in the process of making the show, during the shoot, during the scripting stage itself?
The thing about us as filmmakers is that we are constantly living in a state of anxiety. Okay, so shooting hoga ki nahi, waqt pe hoga ki nahi, edit hoga ki nahi, logo ko achhi lage ki nahi. So you're constantly, and you say, I'm only as good as you say I am. So a lot of so on Friday, when it got released, obviously everybody looks at the reviews, and reviews do matter to me. So I looked at it and we got like mixed reviews, in the first day. But by Monday, I could smell it in the air. Okay, people, somehow you can smell it, You can pop your head out of the window and say, and you can look and you say, I think Arya is a hit.
Yeah. True.
And then we also started getting critical acclaim. The people who were saying it was too slow wanted it to be slow.
Yeah.
And so we were also like, we said, oh, shayad pacing ka problem hai, but then we realized, no. People,
That was the demand of the story.
Yeah, exactly. You wanted it to be emotional.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it was just a thriller, then it would not have had the legs that it has. This is really an emotional story. It's not just a thriller or a crime drama. It is, and in fact, in season 2, they said make her badass. Now that we made her badass in 3.1, they're saying, और थोड़ा उसको emotion दो ना please.
थोड़ा ऐसे control hold back कर लो.
Exactly. अभी वो 3.2 में होगा. Yeah, because we're listening.
Yeah, of course. But also when we talk about Antim Vaar, that is coming out on 9th Feb, people are excited to see this intense face-off between Nalini Sa and Arya, of
Ila
course.
ji and Sushmita, yes.
Yeah. Tell me, how did you go about building this narrative, where there's Arya, who's a strong-headed woman, also with, a vulnerable side where she's extremely protective about her family. And there's this another character who's equally strong and equally fierce, where she says that, मैंने अब तक शिकार करना छोड़ा नहीं. So tell me, how did you go about building this narrative, where there's another character who comes and who's ready to, take it on, head on with Sushmita's character?
So in the writers' room, and I'm not taking the credit for any of this. It's really the writers, the co-directors, everybody who's part of the team. But पहले 2 महीने में जब हम लिख रहे थे, that character was meant to be a man, Nalini Sahiba's character. And I came into the room one day saying, Arya, it's too boring. Let's make her a woman, because then this is another mother who's also, and in a man's world, who's also yet trying to figure out what to do with her child. And that's played by Abhimanyu, by Shashwat, who's the character Abhimanyu. And I think that what happened was, as soon as it became 2 strong women who were in some ways doing it against their will.
True.
And also because Ilaji is such a thespian and such a big, powerful performer.
Of course.
कोई आर्या को भी टक्कर देना चाहिए ना.
वो हेड ऑन होना चाहिए, लगना चाहिए कि क्लैश हो रहा है.
Yeah, कि कुछ शायद हो सकता है इधर, And also we've shown in season 3 that she does get shot. And so one of the things is that who has the power to shoot her? And I think that's the other thing which is going to now unfold, which is it Nalini Sahiba or is it somebody else? And that's what we'll also hopefully hook you with. But the idea was to get like they say that the hero or the heroine is only as powerful as the villain. And so if Arya, and that's why even the supporting characters, whether it's Khan, who's played by Vikas, or Daulat Sikandar, all of these supporting characters are the people who are so strong that you should feel Arya is in serious trouble. Yeah,
and that you do feel after looking at the trailer.
Yeah.
But I recently spoke to Ila Arunji, and she said, she admitted that playing the character was challenging, but it was your conviction that made her job easier. What was your conviction that actually made her job simpler on the set?
That is Ila ji just being humble. You know that she's a great actress.
Yeah, of course.
And like when she's there, she comes with so much. दोनों जो पैर जो है ना ऐसे वो ज़मीन पे ऐसे she just stands there and the way that she looks and you feel, and also she does that with a smile.
Yeah.
So she's not playing villain.
She's not playing, she's killing it with a smile.
Exactly.
True.
So, and the way she says it, it's beautiful that she can, and that's what I was telling her. I said, Nalini Sahiba is not a villain.
Yeah.
She is really just happens to be somebody in your joint family that you have to be worried about.
That's true. The elderly figure.
That elderly figure, ये बड़ी दीदी है ना, या बड़ी भाभी है ना,
उनका खौफ रहना
थोड़ा संभल के रहना उससे, because वो कभी भी कुछ भी बोल सकती है.
Yeah, that's true.
So once we made it part of the joint family, and she was playing, she also got it. She said, because in all our families we've always had some 2 or 3 figures who are like that.
Yeah, we are worried. ऐसा होता नहीं है कि that he or she will scold you or reprimand you, but you have that kind of respect also.
Exactly.
To that towards that person.
But जरा बच के रहना उससे.
बच के रहना. That's true. But also, sir, when the character Arya was being written, was Sushmita the first choice, or maybe was she the way you envisioned Arya on paper?
It was meant to be made into a movie. I think I've spoken about that in the past.
That is known.
But I'll tell you, when Sushmita said yes to the series, I was very, very happy, because I can't imagine anybody else who'd be right for it. And when she asked me how shall I play Arya, I said just be Sushmita Sen.
But what are the similarities that you draw between the character and the actress who's playing it?
So one is, Sushmita is strong. At the same time, she's vulnerable. At the same time, she leads her life very passionately. And I think that those are things which she's also family-minded. She also has 2 kids,
of course.
And that she's very protective about. So I think that all of that is what really helped her strength, her independence, are all the things that have helped Arya.
Yeah. But there was also a time, sir, when she suffered a health scar in between.
Yes.
At that moment, did the feeling of uncertainty set in? As to when the shoot will resume, when the show will see the light of the day?
Well, let's say it like this, which is that, we're grateful that she recovered. Like literally in 2 weeks, I think she was sort of on some fashion show.
Yeah,
Even I read about that.
Walking the ramp.
I also spoke to her. I said, you're doing a fashion show. Sushmita is so strong that I'm just happy that she's there, and that we didn't get affected, and it was like a big relief to us, and I'm just grateful for that.
Of course. And a final concluding question. So, as someone who has made the biggest show on this, I mean, in the OTT space, what are your thoughts about, there's this debate which is going, whether the content on OTT platforms should be censored or not?
Like I said, I make material for families. I want to reach out. I like it when 600 million people, 200 million people, and so to my mind, as long as I am worried about the TV being in the living room, and the fact that therefore it is very, very rare that given the kind of material that I make, that people will use bad language, or there will be a certain kind of, so we are very, in the room itself, we make sure, this time Arya uses one bad word, and even Sushmita said, are you sure we should?
Yeah.
And I said, sometimes a mother can lose it.
Yeah, of course. When it comes to a family, why can't she lose it?
Why can't she lose
Especially
it?
her kids.
Exactly. So no, I'm very worried about making sure that I reach out to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what, I mean, you have been able to do since throughout the 3 seasons. And with the Antim Vaar, Aarya Antim Vaar coming up, I'm sure it will reach to even a wider audience, and more families will watch it together in the living room.
It is a family show about families.
Of course, of course, yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in for a conversation.
Right.
Thanks a lot.